Welcome to your local community education podcast, where you can make a difference and be heard. Each week, get updated on current local, state, and national educational news. Your Voice, Your Choice podcast with your host, Harmony Vanderhorst.
Welcome to our show today. We have
Erica Hodges,
Dana McCabe,
Lindsay Davis.
Today for our Victory Minute, we just want to give a shout out to all the cheerleaders in Southern Utah. They just recently had their state cheerleading competition, and every school got some sort of award, correct?
I believe so. I think there might have been like a couple missing, but we have awesome cheerleaders down here.
We really do. My daughter has done competition cheer in the past, and I have been blown away by Southern Utah, by how much talent we have even compared to the Salt Lake schools. It's pretty incredible. And then the other thing we wanted to talk about, Erica, did you have that Freedom Summit?
There's this Freedom Summit available to junior and seniors who have been interested in civics or government classes. It says conference on Thursday, February 17th, and you can apply at unitedwepledge.com. And it sounds like a really good thing to help increase your understanding of the Constitution. And
do we know if there's a limit of how many they're going to allow in there?
They're allowing 80 students.
This group that puts this on, they have done some amazing events in the past year. They're a relatively new organization, but in Southern Utah. But I would definitely, if you've got a junior or senior, I would definitely look into that. It just came in, I got it in an email. So I'm assuming most schools are emailing it out. They're not sending a flyer. So make sure and look on that if you've got a junior or senior. That could be a really cool opportunity.
Breakfast and lunch included.
Oh, yeah, and it's free. And they are providing food, so it should be fun. If nothing else, I guess free food.
Get some
Right?
leaders
Can I sign all my kids up?
Yes.
Get some leaders.
For today, we're going to go over local, state, national news, and then we are going to call Emily Daly from the Utah Parents United. She's up in Salt Lake, and she is over all things legislation, and so she's going to tell us what's going on with the legislative session. We're excited to hear from her. The agenda we have a meeting January 31st at 5:15, and that's a work session. And the agenda for that just came out today or yesterday. If you aren't signed up for that, that is a really good thing to sign up for. You can sign up for school board meetings, any of your local meetings. Like I live in Hurricane, and so I get notices when they have public hearings, city council meetings. I can see the agenda and see what's going on. Those are really good ways to just stay in touch, and you can do that for the school board meetings too. You just have to go on the school's website or the Washington County School District website, correct?
Yes, and then you can sign up through there.
And the couple things that we thought, there's a few things on the agenda, but a couple things that we thought were really interesting that might be interest of note. They are going to talk about SB 114 public school curriculum requirements, and Larry Bergeson, the superintendent, is going to go over that. And then Jeremy Cox is also going to talk about instructional media and review of instructional media, and that's policy 4210 and 4220. We're not exactly sure what that's going to entail, but that might be something of interest. And just so you know, the work meetings, again, you can't comment, but we do get to see the board interact with each other, and they get to talk about.
And you know what's coming.
Yep.
Yes.
Those are our favorite ones, actually.
Yeah, we really like these meetings. So
Probably their favorite ones when we can't comment.
yeah, it might be. And then the other thing that's coming.
They love us.
The other thing that's coming up February 1st, they are going to have a county commissioner meeting, and they are going to vote on the redistricting of the maps. And the maps have changed, not significantly, but it does affect the school board elections for this year. So if you're thinking about running or know someone, you might want to check out those maps. And they are still taking comment on them, correct? Or
I think they'll present it to the county commissioners to vote on it.
Okay. They have taken comment. We don't know if they're going to take any more comment, but it is not official until February 1st. Once February 1st comes, then you can see what district you're in and see if yours has changed.
And just to know, districts 4, 5, 6, and 7 are the ones that will have seats open if someone's interested in running.
So know your district.
Yeah. And right now, those currently are Lorene Cox is District 4, Dave Sterland is District 5, Kelly Blake is District 6, and Laura Hessen is District 7. And then let's go to state. Lindsay?
Okay. So yesterday, the USBE Standards and Assessment Committee had a special meeting to go over the gender guidance letter. They have already adopted everything in the letter, before the facilities section. So they started on the facilities section
And is
yesterday.
this the second time this committee's met over this, or third time?
I think it's the third.
The third time
Yeah.
they've met.
Yep.
Okay.
So the legal counsel started off by saying that the law is on the side of the transgender student, which I don't know when some American citizens' rights started becoming,
Not important.
not important than other American citizens' rights, but that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But a committee member wanted to make it clear in the letter that they cannot guarantee privacy for students to make parents aware of, that fact. She wanted to add, under the current administration and through executive order, are interpreting sex to mean gender identity. Some district courts have additionally ruled on cases to affect policy rather than legal application.
So does that mean they're taking out identifying you as a male or a female?
Yeah, so
they're
now it's just gender identity
So
is
just
what you are.
how you
Yep.
identify.
Can you
And
tell
then-
us who she is?
Is it Jenny Earl? Is her first name Jenny?
Is she? Oh, so it's
Councilmember
one.
Earl.
So
Yeah.
Councilmember Earl is
Yeah.
on that committee.
Yeah. And then it says it is because of this current legal atmosphere that states and LEAs are unable to guarantee privacy for students based solely on their biological sex in bathrooms, locker rooms, and other historically legal separation of biological sex afforded under Title IX. Parents should actively seek appropriate accommodations at their local schools in order to secure privacy for their child/children. The board has spoken on this before, and all of them agreed that they cannot guarantee our children's privacy. But in this case, they voted not to add that part in because they felt that the statement is too politically charged and encourages conflict. But the statement is correct nonetheless.
So they're
And-
not going to put that section
Nope.
in there in the guidance letter.
Yeah, she wanted to put it into,
And she was voted against.
yeah, yep.
I just wonder
Um,
when privacy and safety when they
By
overlap.
watching, it just made it clear, like, this is politics at work. They're just trying to make a turd into a diamond. That's a, yeah.
I love
Well,
it.
speaking of pressure, we need to just remember in our district, they can make their own guidance. And
Yes.
we
Because it's
need
guidance.
It is guidance, but parents reach out to your district, tell them what you want and what you feel is best for your child.
Yep. I only made it an hour into the meeting because then I had to make my way here. But a few other things that were adopted into the letter were students should have access to facilities that correspond to their consistently asserted gender identity. A student who is transgender, if they want to use the restroom that aligns with their consistently asserted gender identity, they should be allowed to use the restroom of their choice since this is consistent with their consistently asserted gender identity. A student who is uncomfortable because a student is transgender, has been using a certain restroom or locker room, should be allowed to use an alternative restroom or locker room. So once again, they just reiterated that if the majority of students are uncomfortable, they have to ask for a special accommodation.
What happened to unisex bathrooms? You can use either or.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe that's what it's going to.
But I'll finish watching. I'll keep everyone updated. But if you'd like to make a comment on the letter, you can do so at the Standard and Assessments Committee, their next meeting in February.
Are they going to
They
have
will have
live
public comment.
public comments
Yep.
from parents? Okay.
Yep.
That would be
And-
good for people to sign up for.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can also make comments about the letter on the regular USBE meetings. You can sign up for public comment for those.
Should they also contact Kristen Norton too, because she's everyone's state rep
Yeah,
down here, correct?
At this point, it's moving pretty fast. And if, you have something to say about it, we need to start,
Saying something about
saying
it now.
something. Yeah.
That because, okay, so Kristen Norton's our rep, but because she's not on that committee, does she really will she vote on it as a
So
member
that's-
of the whole board or not?
They will adopt the letter in this committee, and then they'll move on to the school board. So
Okay,
the
so
state
the
school board will
does have
vote
to-
on it.
Okay.
So everyone should start reaching out to their reps. And once they adopt it, they will start accepting written public comments.
So this affects the whole state, not just us
Yes.
down here.
Yes.
As guidance.
They are asking everyone to create their own. This is just guidance
on what they want you to base your letter
Yeah.
after,
Yep.
or
And
your
they're-
standards after.
So they're asking every district to create their own?
Every LEA,
which is
which is, what is it?
A leadership of education. It's every district.
Yeah,
will
it's
craft
every
their own
school.
guidance.
Every school. An
Oh, so
LEA
we'll be-
is every
so
school.
each school in our district
Yes.
could technically do
Every
their own.
school could
Or are they
technically.
supposed to do it from a district level? So from our Washington
I
County.
think it's district level.
It is district level, and
I
then
would
it goes
imagine
to the
all
schools.
the other
This will be a
policies
great
are.
call to
Okay.
action for
Right?
parents.
Why
or-
didn't I listen to that podcast I was gone on?
You
For the
didn't get-
ABCs.
You didn't get the ABCs. Okay, go ahead. Do you have anything else?
Nope. I will.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I will post the gender guidance letter, a link to it on our Facebook group,
So people can read
Southern Utah Parents
it.
United.
Perfect.
Crazy.
And we'll make national stuff quick so that we can call in to
Very
Emily.
quick, the NSBA, National School Board Association, had an equity symposium over the weekend. I tried to check it out. It was $225 to do it. Nothing's out online, I'm sure, as I dig. After they get stuff posted, I'll be able to find stuff, so I'll update on the
So
equity.
you had to pay
Yes.
to watch it? Oh.
You did, $225. Also, a couple of you gals, I know I received this from you, the memorandum from the SBA, talking about the meeting they had here in Utah in August. I would just say I think the reason why our state school board hasn't distanced itself so much, they seem pretty tied in with them. There's a reason why Utah was chosen to have that meeting. So it's
the
still
School Board Association, Utah School Board Association.
Utah School Board
The club of
yeah,
school
which
boards.
is amazing. And I'm seeing comments online about why is Utah still part of that? Why haven't they joined the other states? And I think we're all scratching our head on that one. But I think up north it's completely different. And then I'll finish on a positive note. Everybody was watching the election in Virginia with that whole Loudoun County stuff. And Glenn Youngkin was sworn in last week. And he did 11 executive orders on his first day. But the first two were banning CRT. And then the other one was removing the requirement for masks. He has also set up a tip line in an email for parents to reach out about CRT. It came
That's
to
awesome.
it's
Yeah,
so
that's a
awesome.
great
I'm
idea.
like I mean, come on, that's Virginia. This is Utah.
We have like a Safe Schools app. They should just add on to the Safe Schools app and do a CRT tip line and allow people to send pictures
well,
and
and
emails
he
of things their kids are
really
exposed to.
he
Do
was
they
interviewed.
really want that though?
But he
Yes,
was,
That's
they
the
do.
question. We want that.
He was interviewed, and it's quite amazing because they're coming after him. The Democrats, delegates in his states, are coming after him pretty hard. But there's already been reports of a bingo privilege game, and they're targeting white Christians, military families. And he said, this is exactly why I set it up. Interestingly enough, they come after him talking about he's trying to intimidate parents. And then that made me think, well, wasn't that the point of the to intimidate teachers? Wasn't that what the NSBA was trying to do to parents? Was intimidate us? But anyways, I saw him again online. He's doing a lot of stuff for education, K through 12. He was adopting some stuff today, getting a lot of input about creating some schools there. But I just thought if that governor can do that and they have a tip line, I mean, why is Utah not at the forefront of that, especially with
That's such
Supposedly
a
one of
great
the
idea.
most conservative states too.
most conservative states, and we were at a meeting last night, and there were parents from other school board districts that with just some legal issues up there, but they were talking about they're getting some help from the outside, and that Utah is one of the states that we have the strongest parental rights, and I just think parents need to be really made aware.
Take those back.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, and quickly.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to give Emily Daly a call, and she's from Utah Parents United.
This ought to be good.
Yeah, I talked to her a little bit before I called her today, and I learned a lot just in 5 minutes.
Hello.
Hey, Emily, welcome to the show. We just
Thank you.
We just want you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. My name is Emily Daly, and I am the Legislative Director for Utah Parents United. And that is an organ. Oh, I guess everybody already knows, but in case they don't.
In case they don't,
Yes.
fill
In
us
case
in.
they don't, if this is your first time here, Utah Parents United is an organization that brings all of the regular people's voices together to have a unified voice. So we try really hard to give parents accurate information so that when they contact their school board or their other elected representatives, they are educated and they are informed, so they're not just coming at it from a place of emotion, which doesn't usually get a lot of things done, and they can problem solve and they can offer solutions. So that's what we do.
Awesome. And how did you get the job of the when did you guys decide to put that in the Utah Parents United, a legislative person?
So when we were really formalizing our board, we saw the writing on the wall that if we were having trouble in our individual school districts, and we were having trouble with some of our school districts following the laws as they were written. And so we saw the writing on the wall that if we wanted to have meaningful outcomes, we needed to go to where our laws were created. And so we instituted the legislative director's position. And I'm one of the founders of UPU, and I am a geek over bills. For whatever reason, reading
awesome.
that kind of language, I'm like, yes, more, please. And so I'm uniquely
qualified.
Qualified in that I'm interested in trying to figure out the gobbledygook of the legalese language.
That's awesome. So did you do that before you got involved with Utah Parents United too?
No, I didn't. In fact, so here's a little brain tingle for you. My mother-in-law is a lobbyist and has been for 30 years for many different organizations. And so you would think that I would have just picked this up because my husband's grandpa was also a senator, and our very first date together was the last day of the legislative session at the Capitol building.
Wow.
And he was going to propose to me on Capitol Hill, and all of the, it's been integrated into my adult life, but I don't really love conflict. And I don't really love people misrepresenting who I am. And politics offers me all of that, actually. So
yes, it does.
But I always have been interested in law, and I am an oldest child, and so my sense of justice is ingrained. So there's a lot of things that kind of led me to this. You were
being prepped for this position.
Yes. Yeah, I was being prepped for it. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is tomorrow we're actually going to record another podcast and go into detail on all the things legislation. But for today, give us just a little piece. Tell us something to watch, what's went through, what's coming up, whatever you think we should know. So the most
exciting piece of news just happened about an hour and a half ago. It's SB114, and it is a bill that would require all school districts to adopt a policy that allows for a public hearing. That allows for a public hearing before they adopt new curriculum.
Oh, so this is actually, our work session meeting just came out, and that's actually already on our school district's work meeting for Monday, SB 114. So they've been watching it.
Yes. And the argument against passing it is, well, school districts can already do this, and some of them are already doing that. But you have to look at, before the GRAMA Act, so the government, I can't remember what it's called, but it's when you can ask for documents and get them public.
Do you know what that means,
documents.
Erica?
Yep. Government records request. Yep, the GRAMA.
Yep, we've done a few of those.
Oh, right, I forget.
Our
Sorry.
district loves those.
They love them.
They love them. Yes.
Not really.
But before that, all those documents were available to the public, but it wasn't happening enough. Right? There was nothing stopping government bodies from offering those documents publicly, but they just didn't do it on their own. And the same with the Open Public Meeting Act. There was nothing stopping those public bodies from offering their meetings and making sure that all their meetings were available to the people that they represent, but it wasn't happening enough. And so that's the same with this bill is, yes, there's nothing that prevents school districts from adopting a policy that requires them to include parents at the beginning of a curriculum adoption decision. but it's not happening enough. And there are some school boards who they really just need a little bit more encouragement and guidance of what it looks like to have parental involvement.
Emily,
so it's super exciting. So it passed the House. I mean, it passed the education. What am I saying? The Senate Education Committee with a vote of 4-2 in favor. Now it'll go to the Senate House. Wow, all the words are wrong, Harmony. I am so sorry.
No,
You're fine. Most of our parents don't know yet anyway.
Perfect. The Senate floor. It'll go to the Senate floor for debate. So we still need
awesome.
parents who are interested in having this happen to email and text all their senators.
Awesome.
Okay, so we need it. So we still want that to pass, and so it needs.
Right.
So our senators. So who's our senators? Is that?
So the way. Oh, this is a great piece of information. Is anybody can find out who their senator is, and it's very, very easy. You go to le.utah.gov, and you will see a white bar in the middle of the web page, and to the most right option is My Legislator. And you click on that and you enter your address because it's based off where you live. So like your neighbor across the street could have somebody else representing them. So it has to be very specific, and it will pop up with who your senator is and who your representative is and their phone number and their email. And it's very easy.
Yeah, that's awesome that it's going to the floor. That's great news.
Yeah, ours down here is Walt Brooks and Don Ipsum. Who else?
I think ours.
No, yep, those
in
are our two.
Hurricane are.
So your senator is Don Ipson.
Yeah.
So
And
ours
Lowry
is Don.
Snow is another one for our area.
Oh yeah, and Lowry Snow, and Lowry Snow is actually the head of the education committee.
Wonderful. He was not there today.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, he was. Oh, duh. Guys, I am so sorry. It's kind of the end of week 2.
Yes.
So that my brain is a little bit like, it was only the Senate Education Committee. So is he a representative or a senator?
Is Lowry?
Because if he's a representative, he wouldn't have been at this meeting.
He's
it was
a
only
senator.
senator.
He's a
Oh,
senator.
he is?
Yeah, I thought
Oh.
he was a senator. Maybe we've had a lot of meetings with representatives
Yeah.
too, and we're trying to keep them all
Right, yeah.
them all straight. So is Lowry a senator or is he a representative?
He's in the House.
He's in the House.
Okay, so that's why. We're going to go in our deep dive tomorrow, so maybe we don't want to get into this. But the way a bill works is there is a Senate Education Committee and there's a House Education Committee. And so they have their own committees during the session. When it's not the session, they just have what's called an interim committee. So maybe he was the chair of that, because the chair of the Senate, or maybe he's the chair of the House committee.
I think he's the chair of the House committee for the education.
Perfect.
So
Yep,
he'll
there
need
you
it.
go.
So it still needs to go to. So we need to reach out to him and
But
tell him
that's
that we want that one. SB 114.
SB 114. So not quite yet, because it's still got to go 2 rounds for the House.
Well, then our school board
for the Senate.
must be thinking that it's going to pass because it's already on their work meeting.
Yeah.
So they're
For
in,
Monday.
Yeah, for Monday the 31st. So they're anticipating something with it.
Yeah, you know what? If they're willing to go, you know what? The optics are good for us to show our parents that we wanted to do this before we were compelled to do this. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm great with that. That sounds like everybody should write them a thank you note.
That's what I was saying.
That's what
So
it sounds like
maybe
to me.
we need to reach out to our representatives, our school board people, and tell them, hey, we appreciate this being. And Kelly Blake is the president, and he's the one that sets the meeting agenda. And so maybe we need to reach out to him and say, hey, we appreciate you guys talking about this.
We'll definitely know more after Monday's meeting.
Yeah, we'll know how they feel and stuff about that. Okay, we have about 1 minute left, so tell us something that we need to know, and then tomorrow we will dive into everything else.
Okay. The one thing that I would really like everybody who's hearing this to know is that you are welcome to the Capitol during the session. Yes. You are welcome to reach out to your representatives and your senators and say, I am going to be visiting the Capitol on this day. Is there any chance we can meet and you can show me around? This is my first time.
That's
and
a
they
great
are
idea.
actually happy to do that and walk you around. And some of them, if I've had my kids be invited to go sit on the floor of the Senate before.
Oh, that's awesome.
During the session. So sometimes if that's available, they can invite you there, and they are more than happy to hear from their constituents. They really, truly are. They are not too far out of reach for just everyday people to contact them. And as long as we're respectful, because this is a hard job and they take time out of their actual jobs, like their paying jobs, they lose money during this because they take time out of their paying jobs to do this for our people, to do government for our people.
Awesome.
We have a part-time government, and that's how we like it. We want to keep
Thank
it that
you
way.
so
we gotta thank
much.
them. Yeah, thank you so much, ladies.
you,
You've been
Emily.
listening to Your Voice, Your Choice podcast with Harmony Vanderhorst. Like and follow our Facebook page, subscribe with your favorite podcast platform, and most importantly, share this with your friends. Till next time, this has been Your Voice, Your Choice podcast with Harmony Vanderhorst. This has been a production from a podcast studio.